hope we can perform well today. So look at the page I sent to you, speaking page. Okay, I have page 82 with me. I would like to start from group 8. Group 8. Who are the members from group 8?
Me, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Group 8, Shakila,
Yes.
Darshan, lagi?
Shahani.
Shani.
Okay. Can you start now? Group 8,
Okay, sir.
Okay, sir.
wish you all the best. I'm here with you.
Okay, thank you, sir. Hi, a very good morning to the examiners and my fellow friends. Today, my topic will be how can parents encourage positive behavior in their children? Children quickly learn how to behave when they get positive, consistent guidance from us. This means giving your children attention when they behave well rather than just applying consequences when your children does something that you don't like. First of all, be a role model. Use your own behavior to guide your children. Your children watches you to get clues on how to behave, and what you do is often much more important than what you say. For example, if you want your child to say please, say it yourself first. If you don't want your child to raise their voice, speak quietly and gently yourself first. Candidate B, what is your comment about my first point?
I agree with your opinion, Candidate A, about parents need to be a good role model to their children, so they have a good behavior. My first point, how to encourage positive behavior in their children, is by communicate. Communication can build high self-confidence in their children. For example, they can communicate with friends or teacher very well. So, Candidate C, what is your opinion with my point?
Shahani?
Agree with your opinion B. Parents should. Can you hear me?
Thank you, Candice. I agree.
Yeah, continue.
Now, role model is one of the fact that how can parents best encourage
I
positive.
agree with your opinion, candidate B.
In my opinion, appreciate and
Parents
them by giving the
should
rewards when they show good behavior.
build high self-confidence in their children.
Children can become self-motivated when their natural curiosity is encouraged and
My
supported.
first point on how to encourage positive behavior in their child by
Therefore,
responsibility.
tend to do things simply because
Parents
they
should
enjoy doing
provide
it.
work that are suitable for their children's age. The children will be more responsible as they are growing up.
Tend to do things
For
simply because they
example,
enjoy doing it.
when the child be adult,
Who are
they will
self-motivated
start to go for it.
well-being than those who
So
rely on being rewarded by
they
others to feel good about themselves.
go for work to earn money.
In summary, in conclusion, all four
So
all
candidate
candidates
A,
in conclusion, all candidates agree that role
Yes, I
models
totally
most
agree with your
important in
opinion, candidate C.
forming
Yes,
child
parents
behavior
should
in the
provide
future.
works that
As
are
parents,
suitable
their
for
child
their
is a
children
teacher
age,
to
so
be
they will
as
be more
teacher
responsible
throughout
as
life.
they are growing up. Moving to my next point is appreciate and encourage. When our children is behaving in a way you like, give them some positive feedback. For example, we can tell them, wow, you're playing so nicely. I really like the way you're keeping your toys organized. This works even better and makes them feel respected and lovely. It can also build up a stronger bonding relationship between you and children. Candidate B, what is your comment about my second point?
I totally support with your statement that parents need to appreciate and encourage, so they will create a stronger bonding between parents and children. So my next point is about communication can take real interest in children. Children can show an interest in themselves that is actually like interest in themselves with in sport or in arts like so they can show what they are interested in. So candidate C, what your opinion about my point?
Shahani?
But in my opinion,
Shahani, you can continue with your second point.
the
Oh, okay.
fish
My next
fish
point is how to promote self-confidence to their children. Parents need to promote self-confidence to their children so that they will reach to face problems in life and when they have self-confidence, they will always find solutions of problems.
see.
Candidate A, what is your opinion on my point?
Yes, I agree with your opinion, candidate. Say yes, parents need to promote their self-confidence to their children so that they will be brave to face their problem in upcoming life. Moving to my next point. Next, I would like to emphasize is as your children gets older, you can start to give your children more responsibilities for their own goods. For example, give your children some simple chores or things that your child can do to help the family. We can praising our children behavior and will encourage effort will encourage your children to continue, and giving our
Teruskan.
child a lot of practice doing a chores help them to get better at it and want to keep doing it. This will rise up to the children's everyday lifestyle. Candidate B, what is your comment about my point?
And the
I agree with your point that children can gain knowledge from their responsibility. Other than that, parents should not judge or condemn their children's attitude such as judging their abilities. Parents should set a good example and always use positive language to their children. So, candidate C, what do you think about my point?
I agree with your point, candidate B, that parents should not judge or condemn their child's attitude such as judging their abilities. And parents should set a good example and always use positive language to their children.
Mahira watch
In
me.
conclusion, all of us agree that we as team put our hands together and agree that be a role model are therapeutic techniques.
Okay, group 8, you see, you did your homework, you practice. I'm very sure you have practiced among yourself. You can perform well. You see, Darshan, Shakila, their performance good. Nur, Shahani, you have improved a little. Okay. If you manage to capture kawan punya point, that is the most important thing. You just comment 20 seconds only. After that, you go to your point. Fantastic. Group 8, you really did very well. Huh?
Thank you, sir.
Keep
Thank
up
you,
the
sir.
good work. And that's why when people give 3 minutes in the real exam, you all must sit together, discuss. When you discuss, you can perform well. You don't discuss, you feel lazy, want to discuss, we cannot perform. Okay? So this group, 3 orang saja. Okay, now as I put in the group, I would like to call upon group 7. Who are the group 7? Can you raise your hand? At least I know who are the group 7. Group 7, Nur Elia, Zulkarnain, And two more, praise and siapa tu? Abilah Shah, your group 7.
Yes,
Okay.
sir.
One more person. Please identify yourself. Nick, TY, Lok, Nick
Frank.
Nurul. Okay, Chunah, group 7. 4 people in group 7. Okay, who's the first speaker?
Me.
Okay, who's the last speaker? Who's the last speaker?
Imran.
Me, sir.
Imran. You're sleeping, huh, Imran? Okay. Okay, no need raise hand, Imran. Put your hand down. Okay. I want a timekeeper. Who can be a timekeeper? Volunteer? Who can be a timekeeper? Hafiz. Hafiz ka Haikal? Hafiz ka Haikal? Haikal. Okay. Bagi Haikal jadi timekeeper. We give them 8 minutes. You tell already 8 minutes. 12 minutes, tell them to stop. Okay, Haikal?
Alright.
Only in English, no BM. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, examiners and my fellow friends. Our topic for today is how can parents encourage positive behavior in their children. It is very important that we embroider and encourage children with positive behavior at a young age for them to be a better person in the future. This can be done none other best by their own parents. First and foremost, parents can encourage their children by communicating with them. They should build a strong communication with their children, as it will not only tighten the bond between parent and child but also improve their behavior. By building a strong communication, children would feel safe and comfortable to talk about their happiness and sorrows with their parents rather than bottling it up themselves or seeking the attention of outsiders. Candidate B, what are your opinions on my point?
That's a good idea, candidate A. I agree with you. Relationship between parents and their children are greatly improved when there is effective communication. If communication between parents and their children is good, then their relationship are good as well. In my opinion, parents can encourage their children by giving them responsibilities. A children's development is the process of growth of a child from dependency to independence. My first point is parents should teach their children age appropriate skills in order to allow them to become more independent. Therefore, giving children choices to independent thinking and practicing responsible decision making. For example, get children into the habit of thinking and forming their own opinions. Candidate C, what is your opinion about my point?
Ya tu bodoh saya.
Candidate B, I
Kalau
agree
dia
with
reminder,
what you
dah
just
dah
said,
betul.
which is parents should parents should give responsibility
Dia orang tak tahu apa
to
sekarang.
kids that have age appreciated, but
Okay, mantap.
my first point for today is the parents should be a role model to their children. This is due to the reason that parents are the closest people to their children. Children will mirror their parents' behavior whether it's good or bad. For example, parents must set a good example to their children so that they will learn it. When we have some guests coming to our house, parents should greet to their guests politely. After that, their children will learn it and do the same thing to their guests. So, candidate D, are you agree with my approach? Are you agree with parents should be a role model to the children?
Thank you, candidate C. I agree with candidate. I agree with you because role model is one of the fact that how can parents best encourage positive behavior in their children. But in my opinion, Appreciate and encourage them by giving their rewards when they show good behavior. Also, encourage them because children can become self-motivated when their natural curiosity is encouraged and supported. Therefore, tend to do things simply because they enjoy doing them. Children who are self-motivated have better mental health and well-being than those who rely on being rewarded by others to feel good about themselves. In conclusion, all candidates agree that role models are the most important thing in forming child behavior in future, as parent is their child first teacher and should remain the best teacher throughout life. Thank you.
Hey Carl, how many minutes?
4 minutes,
Huh?
15 seconds.
How many minutes?
4 minutes.
Hmm. Macam mana ni? Abilasha, you want to say something? Who's the last speaker?
Me sir.
Okay, very good. Who's the first speaker? Abilasha.
Me, sir.
Okay, why in between what happened? Very less communication. It end up in only 4 minutes. You all never practice yesterday?
No, we did. We were nervous, sir.
No, cannot be like that. That's why I give you one whole day for you, you know. You must remember, in the real exam, only 3 minutes will be given. I give you one whole day for you to prepare, make yourself confident. You cannot keep on telling like this because next class will be writing already. So when I come back for speaking, it will take time. And then you keep on telling no confidence and all that. Salah, Abhilasha. You are a group leader. You should organize your class. Now I am identifying who can be good, who can lead the group. Like here, Abhilasha, you can lead the group. Muhammad Imran also can lead, but that guy is very shy. Anak jantan yang shy. Macam mana? You cannot be shy. You have to talk. Okay? Next, group 6. Are you ready? Not are you ready? You are ready. Okay? Identify yourself, group 6. Raise your hand. I don't want name. Don't show me name. Raise your hand, group 6. Okay, lagi? Okay, cantik sudah. Who's the first speaker? Okay, second speaker.
Me, sir.
Third speaker.
Me, sir.
Okay, fourth speaker.
Me, sir.
Okay, good. All the me's no name. Fantastic. Tanya, teruskan. Okay, Haikal, get ready. 1, 2,
Yes.
3.
Good morning to examiners and my fellow friends. My title for today is How Can Parents Best Encourage Positive Behavior in Their Children? A positive and constructive approach is often the best way to guide children's behavior. My point is give
Memang kita orang macam tu tu.
responsibilities.
Terus kau ambil. Abi memang dah tu dah.
As children get older, parents can give them more responsibility for their own behavior. For example, parents can teach the children rise up to the situation when something's happened. This can help them to promote self-confidence. Candidate B, what is your comment about my point?
I agree with your point, candidate A. Children have to responsible to make their confident. Okay, my point is be role models. Parents can be role models for their children. Parents can exhibit their best traits in many ways. For example, parents can start with the way they say nice words to each other in front of their children. This is because kids will follow and do what they see in front of them. What's your opinion with my point, candidate C?
Yes, I'm agree with you, candidate B. So my point is build strong communication between parents and children, gesture or non-verbal, facial expression, and other non-verbal. Sorry, from gesture or non-verbal, parents can make eye contact, smiles, or body language, then can make the children feel appreciated. And other than that, not yelling or not paying not yelling and paying attention to them. What do you think what do you think about my opinion, candidate D?
Candidate A, I strongly support your points. Moving on to my points, a child who feels valued and accepted by his mother can change the world. Appreciating and encouraging children with positive words will motivate them to move in that direction. It also helps them learn how to recognize when they do well and feel proud of themselves. Parents can appreciate their children by complimenting their character, respects, and obedience, and also contributions they have made to the family. Do you agree to my points, candidate A?
I agree to your points, candidate D. I believe that a child's self-esteem can be attained when parents appreciate them. For my second point, is parents also can also give children the chance to experience the natural consequence of that behavior. For example, if it's their child's responsibility to pack their own lunchbox, and if they forget, the natural consequence is feeling hungry at lunchtime. Would you agree about my point, candidate B?
Candidate A, I agree with you. Parents have to give their child experience to do what the other child do. My second point is parents can be a good listener. This because children have a lot of things to share with you about their daily life routine. So parents have to learn a good ear. It is all because we don't that kids grow up with a shy person cause their parents not give attention when they have something to share or something to share. Okay, what do you think? Candidate C, what's my point?
Yes, you are definitely right. So my second point is related to my previous point. Take real interest. Parents should take real interest in about the kids, about their children, because most parents want their child to be what they want instead of their own child interest. The parents should be more supportive for their children so they can build self-esteem and more confidence in the future. So what do you think about my points, candidate? So what do you think about my points, candidate D?
You had a really good point, candidate C. I truly agree with your points. Moving on to my points, a valuable boost to a child's self esteem can be attained when parents appreciate their children. Parents can also use encouragement before their children does something. Children who are less confident than others need more encouragement than others. When appreciation is focused on efforts, children are more likely to keep trying hard as a good thing in itself. Do you agree with my points, candidate A?
Yeah, I agree with your point, candidate D. So my third point is uh, a, res- a, res- a responsibility might be a task they are expected to do. For example, their children expect them to brush their teeth. Brushing their teeth is a responsibility, and it is their responsibility to brush their teeth every day. Another example is that their teacher their expect them to finish their homework on time and do their best job.
4 minutes left.
Okay.
Thank you, candidate A. I agree with your point. My last point is be positive. One of the best things you can express toward your child is positivity. Your child observe you if stay positive during the testing time. Your child is going to adopt the same thing. However, positivity hard does not mean being unrealistic or making your child less delusion, but it means that to take every difficult as a challenge and deal with it. What do you think, candidate C?
Yes, I'm with you on this. Hello. Okay. Sorry. For my third point is parents must don't judge them because they in process growing up. Let them make their own decision and finding their own identity. Because your children are your reflection of yourself. How you act, how you do, and why they saw what they saw. They they are they actually they act same way because this is part of human nature cycle in our life. So what do you think about my points, candidates D?
As a conclusion, we agree that appreciating and encouraging children will be the best way to encourage positive behavior in them as it motivates them to move in a good direction. Thank you.
How many minutes, Haikal?
10 minutes, 15 seconds.
Okay. At least you are there. Okay. Why you need to improve this group is, you see here, like when you pass to your friend, okay, when you pass to your friend, after that, you tell, what is your comment, candidate B? Okay. When the candidate B take over from you, the baton from you, he must comment, don't say just, I agree to that, I agree to this. You have to a little bit more lah. Yeah, I like your point very much because you say like this. Baru ada di situ. Every time you say, I agree to candidate A, B, I agree to your point. Macam tak ada That shows you are not really listening to what candidate the earlier candidate spoken. If you get good marks, if you can capture one or two words mentioned by the first speaker or the earlier speaker, and then you emphasize on that one or two words and you say, I like your topic because what? I agree to your point because macam itulah baru ada I can see the scenario, your side scenario is candidate A, I agree to this. Candidate B, I agree to your point. Why you agree? Ada orang. Shwena, you can speak well, but you need to comment on others also. Okay, candidate group 6 done. Group 5, can you raise your hand? Mopin, Siti Nor, lagi siapa? Kami and dia. One more person? Group 5? Chong. Okay. Aikal, are you ready, Aikal? Aikal, are you ready? Okay, we start now. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning to the examiners and my fellow colleagues. As we all know, positive behavior among children is very important. So, today we are going to discuss about how parents can encourage positive behavior in their children. My first point is parents need to be role models to their child. The children observe every action of their parents and try to imitate it. This is how children acquire language skills as learn how to talk. They largely depend on observation to understand how relationships work. They do listen to their parents' words and observe their actions to examine how they handle different situations. So, in this case, parents need to set a good example to their children. Also, parents need to show the best traits to their children, such as talk politely, respect other people and others. To conclude my point, parents are already role models to their children, but the challenge is how to provide positive examples. Candidate B, how about your point of view?
I agree with all of your points, but for me, set a good example is an important thing as a parents to let their children become a better person. So for the next point, for me is give responsible. As a good parents, they shouldn't let their children watching something that have age appropriate. It will harm their behavior without any control from their parents. With a good friends and a good family background can help their children rise up to be a positive behavior children. Last but not least, the parents must promote self-confidence to the children so that they can be as good as their parents, so that both parents need to bear an equal responsibility to their children.
Candidate B, may I interrupt your point?
C, can you give your opinion about my points? Oh yeah, sure.
I want to add something. It is true that both parents from a family should bear an equal responsibility in order to take care of their own children. It is important because parents can play an important role in helping their children strengthen their behaviors, skills, attitudes, and motivation that promote their physical and mental health. Children should have love and care from both sides of parents, because when he or she grows up, his or her parents should teach him or her many life lessons and nurture him or her by their experience. Parents must realize that for raising a child, they must put in an equal amount of effort so that the child can learn new things and also prevent the child from working off the right path for his or her upcoming future. That's my opinion.
Thank you for your opinion, Morphine. Candidate C, can you give your opinion about my point?
I strongly agree with you, candidate B. Parents need to cultivate their children's sense of responsibility since childhood. In my opinion, parents can give more appreciation and encouragement to their children. Children need to be loved and appreciated. Parents should notice and appreciate their effort. How about your opinion, candidate D?
I totally agree that need to be loved and appreciated is one of the effective way to encourage positive behavior on their children. Everyone is deserved to be loved by their parents. In my opinion, parents should build strong communication with their children. Communication will make children to feel that they are heard and understood by their parents, which is a boost to self-esteem. This will help them to feel free to talk with their parents anytime and anywhere. Candidate B, do you agree with my point?
Actually, I want to agree because healthy family relationships depend on healthy communications. There are many ways and times to practice and teach good communication to children. There are many times that without good communication, the parent-child relationship suffers and sometimes ends abruptly. Good communication skills should be taught from birth and continue throughout adulthood. In order to have a good parent-child relationship with open communication, there must also be mutual respect. If there is no respect, the lines of communication will be bad. Other than that, I would like to suggest another point that parents need to set realistic expectation to their child. They need to respect individually potential, especially their children potential, because everyone have their own interests and passion. Yes, parents love their children and want only the best for them. They tend to push their children to strive to be the better version of them. But if parents expect too much from their children, it will only lead to consequences. So parents need to set a trend where parents start accepting their child the way she or he is by giving them enough room to pursue their passion. So candidate C, are you agree with me?
That's a good suggestion, candidate A. Parents should take time to communicate with their children because it can build trust between parents and children effectively. How is your opinion, candidate B?
For me, I agree with encourage learning from mistakes. Children, no, every mistakes have their own lesson, so that children must be learning their mistakes from the lesson. No, learning the lesson from the mistakes. Sorry, sir. So, candidate B, can you give the conclusion?
Before that, I have another point. Parents should take real interest on their children to talk about children's problems. They should advise them to be always motivated and guide them to be in good surrounding with well-behaved friends to ensure their life path is on the right track. Candidate A, what do you think about my point?
4 minutes left.
Can you repeat that again, candidate B?
Yes, I can. Parents should take real interest on their children to talk about children problems. What do you think?
I think it's true because it is important because they need to prevent their child from depression. Depression is now a major problem in today's era because parents' affection really contribute a lot to this. Without parents' affection, it will provide depression, produce depression in their mental health. So it is important for the parents to listen to them, to be the best listener to their child. That's my opinion.
Okay, I agree. I would like to conclude. As a conclusion, our group has decided that being role models is the best way parents can encourage positive behavior in their children. The children will follow their parents and will raise up in a good background. Thank you.
I call how many minutes?
9 minutes 30 seconds.
9 minutes 32 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, you still have some time, about 2 minutes. This group also never improve on the comment. Just keep on telling candidate A, I agree with you, agree with you. You need to improve. Okay, you cannot keep on doing that. Never mind. We see other group, and in the future you change. But a big improvement compare what you performed yesterday. Yesterday macam I nak lari, Today you're doing well. Okay,
Thank you, sir.
congratulations. This group, Mopin, Tamendi, who else in the group? Just now, Mopin, your group, please mention your name.
Isha, Mozile, Damayanti, and Mopin.
Okay, good. Keep up your good work. You really hard work, but I can see the difference. Fantastic. Tanya, congratulations. Okay, next is group 4. Are you ready, group 4? Okay, Haikal, get ready, Haikal. All right, 1, 2, 3.
Hello. Good morning to my examiner and my fellow friends. Today, my group are going to talk about how parents can encourage positive behavior among their children. My first point is parents need to communicate to their children every day. Parents can build a strong communication with their children by talking problem and share something. For the example, if children having a problem in school, they will feel confident to share with parents and parents can help them to solve it. Candidate B, what's your comment about my point just now?
Yeah, I really like your point, Kennedy. Strong communication among the family help the children solve their problems. That makes sense. So the next point is appreciate and encouragement. As a parents, must be appreciate their children when they do something new. And parents also encourage when they're feeling down and give some motivation to them to achieve in their life. For example, parents appreciate their children when they got good results in their school exam and can also encourage them when they didn't perform well in their exam too. This kind of love children will expect from their parents when they're feeling down. So, candidate C, what's your opinion on my point?
Yes, that is a good idea, candidate B. My point is be a role model. Parents being a good role model for children impress them to behave better. Remember, parents are a child first teacher. Parents can set an example for their children. Children can emulate their parents too. Parents should expect the best trait for their children. Like example, parents should do not square in front of their children. Candidate D, what's your opinion about my point?
I really like your point, candidate C. It is important for parents to be a role model to their children for them to behave better and they have to set a good example for their children. Moving on to my next point is set realistic expectations. Parents should respect individuality of their children, and they should understand every children are different. They have their own interests and specialties and talents. They should not compare their children to other kids because this will encourage them to be better in their interests. Parents should respect. Parents should not force their children to do the things that they don't want to because this will make their children feel more down and feel like their parents do not understand them. So candidate A, what do you think about my point?
I think your point is really good. Set realistic expectation is really good to respect children and not to compare the children with others. Moving on to my second point, by communication, parents can know their children real interest. Parents need to listen and pay attention so they can give advice and give moral support to them. For the example, if children really love to become a doctor, parents can talk about the good and bad about their interest. For the conclusion, communication can help parents to know their children's interests. Candidate B, what's your point? What's your comment about my point?
Yeah, it's actually a valid point because strong communication support the children to achieve their life goals. Moving on, my next point, be a role model. Parents are the good example for their children. Children mostly copy every action from their parents. For example, how parents talk to others, how parents respect with their elders are the most common example we see in real life. So, candidate C, what's your next point?
Oh, that's a great idea. For my point is authority. My point is walk the talk. Authority for parents, the saying "do as I say, not as I do" simply does not work. Children can sniff out hypocrisy like a bloodhound, and they gain the most from parents who demonstrate consistency between their action value by walking the talk. If parents don't want your children to lie to get out of school, going to school by frigging illness, then parents should not lie about taking a sick day from work. So candidate D, what your opinion about my points?
I agree with your point, candidate C. Parents should be honest with their children and not lie for them to have a good example to be more an honest person in the future with their friends. My next point is about parents should set realistic goals and limits refer to their children's interests. Parents should not pressure them doing things they don't want to. For example, if the children likes to go for art, the parents should not forcing them to go for medication because this will pressure the children the most. Another one is parents should encourage learning from the mistakes. Everyone makes mistakes, especially especially a child. So parents should teach their children to learn from mistakes and tell them we can grow from mistakes and do not repeat them again. Mistakes is good in the process of learning. This will encourage their children to be more positive and not be scared of failure in the future. So candidate B, what is your conclusion about our topic today?
Yeah, before that, I will like your point because parents not pressure their children to do something because parents let their children to do mistake. By that, children get their own experience. So, in conclusion, as we decide, parents are the role model, are the best way to encourage positive behavior towards the children. So, thank you.
How many minutes, Haikal?
7 minutes 13 seconds.
Macam mana ni, Narwin? Only 7 minutes. We have to put some extra effort. Make it 12 minutes, at least minimum. Busuk-busuk pun 10 minutes lah. That shows your points are not strong enough or not enough points. That's all. Okay. Never mind. We will see how it goes. Darwin, group leader. You can talk, but you cannot coach your group members. Darwin, you being a coach, you must teach, you must coach the others. Leaders must coach the others. You all must have your own group, speaking group, call, talk to them, and then you see how they perform. You cari sendiri your topic, and then do the conversation. Then only you will improve. You just depend on this class alone, you don't go far. Okay, group 3, start now.
Okay, sir.
Identify yourself first.
Okay.
Ahmad, Alisha, Lo, CP, Hemawati. Okay, soon. 4 of you, start now.
Sir, can you hear me?
I can hear you, Hema, very well. Haikal, are you ready, Haikal?
Yes.
Okay, Hema and the friends, please start. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning to the examiners and my fellow friends. Our discussion today is about positive behavior among children is very important. My title is Communicate. My first point is to build strong communication between parents and children. Parents should interact with their children for them to learn. For example, parents should make sure that they are able to spend some time with their child so that they can talk to each other. Sometimes children have some habit to bottle up their feelings, so this can help children is to release on their parents. Communication between parents and children should be two-way and adapted to the age of children. Candidate B, what do you think about my point?
I totally agree with candidate A. Communication between parents and children can enhance their confidence. My point is, parents are suggested to be a role model to their children. Show some good example to them. This is due to the reason that children will observe their parents and follow their behavior. For example, parents must speak gently to all people and also think before make any decision, because all these actions that parents make can influence their children. So they must try hard to show a good example to their children that can be a good influence for them. Candidate C, do you agree with my point?
I strongly support your point, Candidate B. This is because parents are the closest one with their children, so they know the best about what kind of action that can influence their child. My first point is parents should appreciate and encourage their children. Parents also should care about their children and pay attention to them. This is because children need to be loved and be appreciated from their parents. If parents didn't care about their children's emotion, they will be sad and emotionally affected. Besides, they will feel safe when they given enough love and care. Also, they will be able to lean on their parents to seek help for any problems. Candidate D, are you agree with me?
Yes, I agree with you, candidate C. To add to your point, I feel that parents have to be open to their children, such as like they have to show them that they care and love, and also want the best thing for their children. So children will feel encouraged and think that there will be someone that they can lean on. So I will move to my point, which is for parents to encourage positive behavior in their children. Parents needs to give responsibilities to their children. As the children getting older, which is they are in an appropriate ages, the parents can appoint some responsibilities, such as helping in doing some house chores so that they can help reduce parents' burden. Parents can teach their children step by step how to manage themselves in future. So candidate A, would you like to offer your comments?
Okay, I'm totally agree with your point, candidate B, because children can know how to help their parents, teachers, relatives, and friends, and also know how to do their housework. I'm going to my point, which is parents should be take real interest with their children. For example, studies, health caring, and spending quality time with their children. It will cause good relationship between parents and children. Do you agree with my point, candidate B?
I'm agree with candidate A. Communication skills should be fostered from childhood so that easy for children to make friends. Continue with my point. Parents are advised to show a good attitude to children. Parents can say thank you to children after children done the work given. This good behavior guide children become more polite to others. Are you agree with me, candidate D?
Great point, candidate B. Some parents have their own attitudes in respecting others and also their children. This can be seen when sometimes they didn't compliment the children after doing a great work. For me, as we know that in this modern era, there are many kind of things that can attract and also influence children behavior. So children also tend to follow the bad things from social media or kind of other things. So parents should help them discipline themselves and also teach them how to survive following the situation. This can make them prepared for adult life in this kind of cruel world. It is because we knew that adult life are very different than children's world. When they are getting older, there is more and more responsibility that they have to bear in future. Candidate C, what do you think?
Thank you, candidate C. I think I love your point. It is true that parents have to teach their children rise in some situation so that they knew how to adapt with the current situation by themselves. For my next point is, by appreciate and encourage children, parents need to notice and appreciate their effort by compliment them for the good things done or advice for the mistake so that they can improve themselves to be better. For example, when children have low marks in exam at school, don't scold them, but appreciate their efforts for trying their best and give some motivation for them so they didn't give up. Candidate A, do you agree with my point?
Yeah, I agree with your point, candidate C, because next time children passion to make again their study and also children can improve and understand their study skill. I'm going to my last point. My last point is don't judge or conduct with their opinion and action to their children. It is because parents must be able to communicate openly with their children. Open communication benefit not only children but every member of the family. When communication between parents and children are strong, then their relationship are good as well. Candidate C, do you agree with my point?
Candidate A, I strongly support with your point because it is absolutely true that parents should communicate openly and also appreciate their child opinion. For my last point is parents also need to teach a verbal and non-verbal matters. For verbal, parent can use a good words to communicate so that their children will using a good words too. For non-verbal, parents can show an appropriate signing or gesture when meet someone. In this way, the children will follow the same things. Candidate B, how can you describe my opinion?
I strongly agree with you, candidate C. Children can use some interesting gesture when meet their intimate friend. My last point is, via parents' good behavior, children can exhibit their best traits. For example, children will lend a helping hand to the others when when they are in troubles. This kind of children always admired by people and can be a good example to peer. Candidate D, are you agree with me?
Thank you, Candidate B. For me, the best trait is the main things that parents should show to their children. Back to my main point, which is parents should give responsibilities to their children. I can elaborate that this can help children promote self-confidence. Family has their own organization from the father until the youngest child. So everyone has their own responsibility in every aspect. For example, elder siblings have to carry out his or her duty as the one who can protect the youngest one, and or always help parents to manage the family. Even though this is not the children's responsibility, it can teach them and make them realize how hard to handle the whole family. So they need to help each other for a happy and peaceful life. It also can give some knowledge for children to learn that responsibility are not kind of things that we can take it slightly. This also can help they improve their self-confidence and be a better person in future. Well, after listening to all the points on the four choices we have, I think it is time to make a conclusion. So for me, I think that the best way parents can encourage their children is by communication.
Yes, I totally agree with candidate D.
Yes,
So, okay.
Yes, communicate. Yes, communicate play most important roles for parents and child relationship.
In general, if communication between parents and their children is good, then their relationship are good as well.
In conclusion, all of us agree that the best ways to encourage positive behavior in their children is communication. From this, we know that communication is the main things that parents need to prioritize in taking care of their children. Communicate is the key to the development of children's behavior. Thank you.
Nur Alisha,
Yes.
you've done your conclusion. Can you repeat your conclusion?
In conclusion, all of us agree that the best way to encourage positive behavior in their children is communication. From this, we know that communication is the main things that parents need to prioritize in taking care of their children. Communicate is the key to the development of children's behavior. Thank you.
Very good. This group done very well. Okay. Cantik. Now, people in group 3. Very good, huh? Nur Alisha. Who else was there? Hema, your pronunciation, you need to improve your pronunciation. Huh? Laulishan also same, improve. But Hema got very good points. Hema's points are good. Nur Alisha, pronunciation, superb. Points, incredibly fantastic. Okay. Dulu sekolah mana, Alisha?
Jalan 4.
Jalan 4. Okay. Alright, you got a strength, power of English. Good. I appreciate what you have done. Fantastic. Saya lah yesterday I pening kepala thinking about you all, how you are going to perform. I talked to some of your classmates. Wow. But today, superb. Shun, cantik. Okay, let's hear from. Okay, wait. Aikal, just now that group, how many minutes?
10 minutes, 30 seconds.
Okay, tak apa. I keep 10. Baguslah tu. Okay, let's go to group 2. Haikal, get ready. Identify group 2 yourself. Please identify yourself. Cucu, Bashir, Tamendi ya. Eliza, who is the girl? Tasha ini ke Tamendi? Please mention your name. Tasha ini, Cucu, Bashir, Siti Eliza. Okay, Chun. Haikal, get ready. 1, 2, 3.
Okay.
Good morning, examiners and my fellow friends. Based on the task given, we are asked to discuss the best way parents can encourage positive behavior in their children. Children are a gift from God that is born with pureness and innocence. I believe that parents should be role models to their children as they are the biggest influence in their children's life. I would like to begin by stating that parents should set a good example to their children by radiating positivity in their daily life. This way, children won't grow up being rebellious. What do you think about these statements, Speaker B?
Yes, candidate A, I agree with your point. If you set a good example, you encourage or inspire them by your behavior to act in a similar way and give respect to everyone. However, parents can encourage positive behavior in their children through effective communication. That will help to build a strong communication bond between them in order to understand them wisely. Not just that, effective communication creates a strong foundation in a relationship between parents and their children. What is your opinion on my point, Speaker B? C?
Yes, I totally agree with your opinion, candidate B, that parents need to have a strong communication with their children so that their children are be more comfortable to tell their problems to their parents. So my point for how parents best encourage positive behavior in their children is appreciate and encourage. Parents need to love and appreciate their children by praising their children's effort because that can give motivation to their children and encourage them to try hard in the future. Besides, if children got some achievement, parents can praise their effort by giving them a small reward for their good behavior to show them that you are impressed by their effort or good attitude. So candidate D, do you agree with my opinion?
In my opinion, I agree with your point because the children will feel that they were appreciated by the parent will notice them and giving them reward. So they will be motivated to do more positive behavior in the future. Next, let's move on with my points. Parents should give their children the house chores. The house chores that will be given to the children should be appropriate with their age, such as the elder brother should sweep down the floor and the little sister should help the mother in the kitchen. What is your opinion, candidate A, about my point just now?
Yes, I agree with you, Speaker D. As I have said earlier, parents should set good examples for their children. This is because children emulate their parents. They do what they see instead of what parents tell them to do. A child will mirror, repeat, and practice the action of their parents either immediately or later. Therefore, parents should only use kind words and be careful with their actions, especially around their children. What's your opinion on my point, Speaker C?
Yes, I agree with your opinion because parents should be more careful with their action and words as children emulate their parents. So my second point is notice and appreciate their effort. Parents should appreciate their effort when they did something good. For example, chores, doing their homework, or tidy their room. When you feel good about your child, see whether you can give your child some words of encouragement every day because the small things you say can build up over time to have a big effect on your children. So candidate B, do you agree with my opinion?
Yes, I agree with your opinion that parents should appreciate them. Moving on to my points, parents should also take real interest to listen to their children's. Parents should make sure they are genuinely interested in his or her activities. They should let their children open up their problems or challenges they are facing.
By this, he or her begin to feel they are heard and understood by their parents, rather than hiding and keeping it to themselves. What is your opinion on my point, Speaker D?
In my opinion, the the parent really should give their 100% focus to their children and get along with their children, get interest with their hobbies or something else. So the children will not rebel to their parents to gain the attention from their parents. Next, my point is the house chores that were given to the children when they were young will develop their responsibilities to carry on in any situation, such as the mother was sick, so the children will take their part of the house chores without having any arguments. What's your would you like to share your opinion, candidate A?
I agree with what you said earlier, candidate D. As I said at the beginning, parents are the biggest influence in their children's life. I would like to highlight that parents should exhibit the best traits. They should educate their children in a loving way instead of being mean and spiteful. Do you agree with it, Speaker B?
Yes, I agree with your point, Speaker A. Parents shouldn't judge or condemn their children in any particular topic or fact. They should listen to their children's point of view or obstacles they are facing before jumping into conclusion. Parents need to avoid yelling or criticize their children without knowing the whole story. Parents tend to forget about their children's frustration and pain for them to open up. So, parents can offer positive feedbacks and respect their feelings. What do you think about my opinion, Speaker C?
Yes, I agree with your opinion, Speaker B, that parents should solve their problem instead of yelling or be mean to them. So my third point here is non-verbal ways to praise or encourage your child. Is parents need to add some words of affirmation in their parenting toolbox to show their children how loved they truly are. For example, is I am so proud of you. You are so thoughtful. You did a great job.
How
And
minute left?
furthermore, a thumbs up, smile, hug, or high five can be powerful ways to show your child that you are impressed by their effort or behavior. So, Speaker, did you agree with my opinion?
I agree with your opinion because the verbal and non-verbal accomplishment to the children will make them feel a little heartwarming in deep on their heart. So they will feel like they were welcome in their family, not like they were threat, but like they were not a terrorist in their family. Last but not least, my point, by giving the responsibilities by giving the responsibilities to the children, it will promote the self-confidence to them for having their own family in the future, because they already see the structure of how the family work. Would you like to share your opinion, candidate A? In conclusion, we all are agreed that parents is the best teacher to encourage their positive behavior among their children, because the parent is the closest person to their children. Moreover, their children will mirror whatever the parents doing in front of them. Thank you.
Great. Very good. Okay. Bashe, very good. Okay. Alziana, very good. Pronunciation, Amendi, take care of your pronunciation. Tutu, very good. All right, this group, fantastic. Group 2, very good. Group 1, I don't want to go further. Group 1, because after group 1, we also have SS3. I will keep this for Friday. Okay? Friday, we'll do these 3 groups. We have time, we do reading. Next week, we will start with writing. Be prepared for writing. Okay, Anna? Whether you like it or not, we have to go through. Please remember, the writing for SPM and Form 6 is totally different. Alright? The basic writing will be there, but how you are going to put your points, how are you going to organize your points is different. Okay, people, please get ready. Thank you for your cooperation. Tihana, what time do you want me to call so that we can key in the vaccination information in the system?
After done with emergent arm, I
Tell
call
me
you.
the time. Tell me the time I call you. You want to send me a WhatsApp so I can, want me send me a Telegram so I call you, or what time shall I call you to key in the marks? No, not marks, key in the information. Tihana, Sophia, I'm waiting for your reply. Tihana, Sophia?
BS.